What to Play presents 15 of the best Switch fighting games of all time, all arranged by PlayScore. To check out our full list, visit our website at whattoplay.com. You can take part in our rankings by leaving reviews of the games you play. At 15, Samurai Shodown. SNK's beloved classic gets a new and improved fighting game experience for the modern consoles, especially with the Switch. While the graphics are certainly a huge step up from its pixel roots, the gameplay remains the same. It was one of those games that shaped the future of arcade gaming alongside Street Fighter, and it receives a play score of 7.51. At 14, Kill la Kill If. Studio Trigger's first original anime TV project makes its way to the Nintendo Switch. It doesn't work too well in competitive scenes, but with its variety of adorable waifus straight from the anime, it's a treat for fans of the original series. It also features simple controls and easy to pick up combat, as well as a story mode to help fans relive its best moments. It receives a play score of 7.65. At 13, Ultra Street Fighter 2: The Final Challengers. Capcom gives love to Nintendo consoles with this revival of the classic Super Street Fighter Turbo 2 and its other older iterations. Ultra Street Fighter 2 is an enhanced edition of the 1991 fighting game, and it comes with a handy dual graphics mode. This gives you the choice between going back to the good old retro days or witnessing everything in high definition. A few gameplay tweaks and some new mechanics keep the game fresh, despite being 2 decades old. A play score of 7.68. At the 12th spot, Aka Neo Geo Waku Waku 7. Sunsoft's 1996 2D fighter is the first of many classic titles to come out on the Switch from the Neo Geo archives. Others might be familiar since it's heavily inspired by SNK's other titles. This re-release might not bring anything new to the table, but it's a great way to introduce new players to the series. It's a time machine for anyone looking to play this game on a portable platform, without the need for emulators. A play score of 7.70. At 11, Aka Neo Geo The King of Fighters 98. And of course, SNK's acclaimed fighting series returns to the world all thanks to Hamster Corporation's Neo Geo archives. It's hailed as one of the best 2D arcade fighters of its time. To this day, it's a hallmark of the genre, and everyone's hoping the upcoming KOF will live up to its name. Unfortunately, the game doesn't support online play. The Aka version is still the same from its 1998 original. If you want to play with a buddy, a separate Joy-Con will do the trick. A play score of 7.79. 10th place, Blade Strangers. It might not be the strongest fighting game in the market, but its solid roster is enough to lure players in. Like Super Smash Bros., this is Necale's attempt at a crossover 2D fighter. Its lineup consists of original and familiar names in today's indie video game scene, such as Isaac from Binding of Isaac, Shovel Knight, and more. It's not as mechanically demanding as the other fighters, but the developers are making creative use of each character's individual abilities. If you're an indie game fan looking for a simple fighting game on the Switch, Blade Strangers is one to check out. A play score of 7.97. At the 9th spot, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. A high-powered sequel to Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Bandai Namco takes a turn towards time-bending plots in this latest installment of their unique Dragon Ball title. There's plenty of opportunities for high-flying fighting here. Create your own character and join the iconic band of heroes as they jump from timeline to timeline in the hopes of saving their reality. It's a far cry from FighterZ's gameplay. Xenoverse combines RPG and fighting into one flashy Dragon Ball game. A play score of 8.21. At 8th place, My Hero 1's Justice 2. One of this generation's hit anime, it didn't take long for My Hero Academia to get a fighting game title, and a sequel. Competing with the likes of Dragon Ball FighterZ for the top spot in anime-based fighting games, One's Justice lets you take on the shoes of Deku, Bakugo, and so much more. It retains the anime's quirky humor and charm as you weave through its story mode. With over-the-top playable characters to choose from, form your team's 3 favorites and get supercharged on smooth animations and fast-paced battles. A play score of 8.26. At 7, Pokken Tournament DX. Fighting games and crossovers work so well together, and for a game like Pokken, Borrowing the fighting game mechanics from Bandai Namco's beloved Tekken franchise is something we didn't know we needed. DX is an enhanced version of the Pokken Tournament experience. It's rebuilt for the Switch, and each fight is an eye-popping spectacle of powerful skills and varying element types from its roster of 21 iconic Pokémon. A play score of 8.28. At 6th place, ARMS. This fighting game was one of the surprises among Switch's launch titles. It was a brand new IP that was set to follow in Super Smash Bros. Footsteps, except it's different in all the best ways. Its motion controls work well with the Switch, catching every jab, grab, and combo. It actually feels like you're piloting these crazy-limbed characters. Customize your arms according to your playstyle and get ready to sweat it out on your way to victory. With different game modes on offer, it's all around fun for the whole family. It gets a play score of 8.29. At 5th place, BlazBlue Central Fiction Special Edition. The Wheel of Fate continues to turn in Arc System's long-running 2D fighter. If you're not busy fighting and showing off those flashy moves with other players, you can enjoy over 40 hours of convoluted story from the BlazBlue universe. The gameplay continues to be fluid and responsive as ever. This special edition contains all the DLCs from Central Fiction. All the new characters, story bonuses, and balance changes are all here. A play score of 8.46. At 4th place, Under Night and Birth Exe Late Claire. The definitive edition of French Bread's arcade fighter, in partnership with Arc System Works, unravel the mystery of the Hollow Knight and select from 20 playable characters in the emoest fighting game in existence. Unleash your powers and become a ruler of the night. Compared to Late Saint, Claire is the updated version of the game with balance changes, new moves, and an extra character. A play score of 8.64. At 3rd place, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. NetherRealm has been having a great run with their Mortal Kombat series. With this 11th installment though, they completely refreshed the formula. Their gory fatalities have always been the star of the show, and it continues to be, with some slight upgrades to add more punch to the over-the-top finishes. But there's more under the hood for serious fighters. It welcomed some changes to pacing that make fights more strategic. There is just more of everything. Content, game modes, DLCs, Mortal Kombat 11 exceeded all expectations, earning itself a play score of 8.67. At 2nd place, Dragon Ball FighterZ. We're certain there are a lot of you anime fans out there, and you'll certainly appreciate the fighting atmosphere of Bandai Namco's latest Dragon Ball release. While it has an all-too-familiar story, the dramatic flourish of its newly minted animations, care of developers Arc System Works, makes their trademark fighting leagues better than it was before. And through all that, it's still a comfortable experience on the Switch. If you're a longtime fan of Dragon Ball, what could be better than a game that lets you hang out with your favorite characters and puts you square in the middle of the action? It has a play score of 8.74. And at 1st place, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Super Smash's combat is simple, with a few basic moves tied to each directional key. That's part of what makes it easy to pick up for players with any level of fighting experience. On top of its accessibility, it's also incredibly dynamic. There are hundreds of stages that move around and turn the tables for each player, and a bunch of characters to play around with. Under all of that is a surprising level of depth. Even a veteran fighter can enjoy the sweet victory off of a perfectly timed mid-air attack. With its consistent stream of updates and new characters, it may be the Switch's best fighter for a long time, with a play score of 9.29.